Hello all, welcome back to day 12 of 100 days to CAT Quant series by the Gurukul. So in this video, we'll be discussing 5 questions from the arithmetic module, and whenever you come across a question on the screen, please pause the video, try solving that question. Once you're done solving, you can resume the video. Now coming to the first question, at Heritage Handicrafts, both male and female artisans are involved in crafting designer pots for the store. A team of 5 men and 3 women can produce as many pots in 4 days. Now let me consider one man makes M pots every day. So 5 men will be making 5 M pots in one day. Now similarly, let me assume one woman makes 3 pots every day. So we have 3 women working. So they will be making 3 W pots every day. Right. Now, like this, they have worked for how many days? 4 days. So they will be making a total of 5M plus 3W into 4 pots in those 4 days. Right. And as a team of 3 men and 3 women can in 5 days. So same number of pots are made by 3 men and 3 women in 5 days. So into 5. If a man and a woman together can complete an assignment of making 400 pots, so one man and one woman, M plus W, right? They can complete 400 pots in 50 days. So into 50. Now this is equal to 400 or 58 is 400, M plus W is equal to 8. So we have one equation in terms of M and W. What is that? M plus W is equal to 8. Now I can simplify this as 5M plus 3W into 4. So 20M plus 12W is equal to 3 into, if I take 3 common, you will be having M plus W. We know that the value of M plus W is 8 into 5. So 20M plus 12W is equal to 40 into 3, 120. Right. Now we can further simplify this as 4 5s, 5M plus 3W is equal to 30. Now we have two variables, two equations. Right. Now one equation is 5M plus 3W is equal to 30. The other is M plus W is equal to 8. Now let's solve these two equations to find the values of M and W. So for that, let me multiply this with 3 on both sides. So you will be having 3M plus 3W is equal to 24. Now subtracting equation 2 from equation 1, I can cancel out 3W and 3W. Then 5M minus 3M, 2M is equal to 30 minus 24, 6. Or this implies M is equal to 3. So that means one man will be making 3 pots a day. And we know that M plus W is equal to 8. So if M is 3, W is 5. So one woman making 5 pots every day. Now what was asked? How many pots would 6 men? Right. So 6 men. So 6 into 3, 18 pots. And 2 women. 2 into 5, 10 pots in one day. 18 plus 10, 28 in one day. And we are asked to find how many would they be able to produce in 7 days. So into 7. So 28 into 7, 196 should be the answer for this question. Good question from time and work. Now coming to the second question. While working alone, we have A, B and C. A can complete a piece in 12 days. B can complete the same piece of work in 15 days and C in 20 days. Right. Now let me consider the total work to be LCM of these three. LCM of 12, 15 and 20 is 60. Right. So this is number of days. Let me consider the total work as 60 units. Right. So what is the efficiency of A? A would be doing 5 units in one day, B would be doing 4 units and C would be doing 3 units in one day. So we have the corresponding efficiencies of A, B and C. Now what was asked? Initially they all started working together. So when you have A, B and C working together, they'll be completing how many? 9 plus 3, 12 units of work in one day. Right. Now, but C left midway. So C left sometime between the start and the end, right? The remaining work was completed by A and B together. If the entire work was completed in 6 days, then after how many days did C leave? So we have, see, these three should be completing 60 units of work. So they started together, right? So let us assume that they worked for X days. So we have for these X days, you have A, B, and C working. So they would be doing 12 units of work in one day. So in X days, they would be doing 12x units of work, right? Now after X days, C left, right? And it took 6 days to complete the total work, right? So if the total time taken is 6 days, right? So if C has worked for X days, so the remaining time period would be 6 minus X. Now for these 6 minus X days, you have only A and B working. You do not have C working. Right. Now, what is the combined efficiency of A and B? If you have only A and B working, they would be completing 9 units of work per day. Right. So in 6 minus X days, they would be completing 9 into 6 minus X units. Right. Now, after working for 6 days like this, they have completed 60 units of work. So 12x plus 54 minus 9x, it should be equal to 60. 12x minus 9x, 3x is equal to 60 minus 54, 6, or x is equal to 2. So C worked for 2 days. And then A, B and C worked for 2 days. For the remaining 4 days, you have only A and B working. Now what was asked? Then after how many days did C leave? C left after 2 days. So the answer for this question becomes 2. Now, coming to question from simple interest, compound interest, it is given that the compound interest at a certain rate on a certain principal for 2 years, right? So compound interest accrued in 2 years is same as simple interest accrued in 4 years, right? On same principle, let the principal be P and let the rate of interest be R, right? Now we are asked to find the rate of interest per annum. Okay. Now let me write this as compound interest for 2 years is equal to, now since we know simple interest accrued on the same sum at the same rate of interest will be constant during the entire time period, I'll split this as SI in first 2 years plus simple interest accrued in next 2 years, and this is nothing but the simple interest accrued in first and second year. This is nothing but the simple interest accrued in third and fourth year. Now let me send this to left hand side. So what do we have? Compound interest accrued in 2 years minus simple interest accrued in 2 years is equal to simple interest accrued in 2 years. Now, if the principal is P and rate of interest is R, we know that the difference between compound interest and simple interest accrued in 2 years, when the time period is 2 years, is given by P into R by 100 whole square. Right. And this is equal to simple interest accrued in 2 years, which is nothing but 2 into P into R by 100. Right. So I can cancel one R by 100, another R by 100 here. I can cancel P. So R by 100 is equal to 2, or R is equal to 200%. Hence the answer for this question should be option D. Now coming to a question from speed, time and distance. Now Aman lives in city A and Ravi lives in city B. Okay. So Aman lives in city A and Ravi lives in city B. So we have Aman and we have Ravi. And there is a steady wind blowing from city A to city B. So you have a wind blowing in this direction. So anyone driving from city A to city B moves 10% faster than their normal speed. So let me assume the speed of A, the normal speed of Aman to be 10A, and the normal speed of Ravi to be 10R. Right. So if we have Aman moving from A to B, then his speed would be 11A. And if we have Aman moving from B to A, right. So if we have anyone driving from city B to city A, that results in a 10% lower speed. So in that case, his speed would be 9A while moving in this direction and while moving in this direction. Whereas for Ravi, if he is moving from B to A, right, there should be 10% reduction in the speed. So 9R, and while traveling from A to B, his speed would be 11 hours. Right? So Aman and Ravi start driving at the same time. So they simultaneously started from A and B respectively. Right? Now when they reach the other city, they immediately turn back. For example, if we have A here, after reaching B, okay, so they will immediately turn back and they'll reach the other city. Okay. Now upon returning to their own cities, they turn around again and drive towards the other city. Okay. Right? So Aman traveled from A to B, then B to A, and again this Aman started traveling from A to B. Now similarly, B travel from B to A and again A to B, and it is given that this time they meet exactly at the midpoint between the two cities. Okay, so this is midpoint between the cities. Now we are asked to find what is the ratio of Aman's speed to Ravi's speed on plain ground. So if you observe, they're traveling the same distance, D, D and D by 2, and they're traveling for the same time because they started simultaneously and they met after some time. So here distance is constant and time is constant. Okay. Now let me consider the distance between A and B to be D. Now let us find the time taken by Aman to travel from A to B, B to A, and to reach the midpoint from A. Right. So that would be D by, while traveling from A to B, the speed would be 11A, plus while traveling back from B to A, the speed would be 9A, plus he traveled half the distance. So D by 2 into, while traveling from A to B, his speed would be 11A again. Right. So the total time taken by Aman for his journey from A to B, then B to A, and then to the midpoint would be D by 11A plus D by 9A plus D by 2 into 11A. Right. Now similarly for Ravi, that would be D by from B to A 9R plus D by 11R plus D by 2 into 9R. So they started simultaneously and they ended simultaneously. So the time taken by them should be equal, should be 2. Right. Now what is the LCM? 11, 9 and 22. 9 into 22. So 9 into 22A. Right. What will we be having here? 18D plus 22D plus uh, 9D. Right. Now this should be same as, again, what is the LCM here? 9 into 22R. Then what do we have? 22D plus 18D, sorry, 18D plus 11D. Right. So I can cancel 9 into 22, 9 into 22 on both the denominators. Right. 18 plus 22, 40, 40 plus 9. So you have 49 D by A is equal to 22 plus 18, 40, 40 plus 11, 51 D by R. I can cancel D on both sides. Then what was asked? We are asked to find the ratio of Aman's speed to Ravi's speed. So A by R is equal to 49 by 51. Hence the answer for this question should be option D. One good question from speed, time and distance. Now coming to the fifth question. Class 10 of a school has two sections, namely section A and section B. Okay, section A and section B. Each section has students in either red house or blue house. So we have red house or blue house. The number of students in red and blue houses of sections A and B are in the ratio 4:1 and 9:1 respectively. So if this is 4x, this should be x, and if this is 9y, this has to be y. Now, if three students from section A's red house are transferred to section B's blue house, so that's the case. The number of students in section A's red house would be 4x minus 3, and section B's blue house would be y plus 3. And three students from section B's red house Okay, minus 3 are transferred to section A's blue house, plus 3, right? Then the ratio of number of students in red and blue houses of both the sections E and B becomes 3 is to 2. So this ratio should be 3 is to 2 and this ratio should also be 3 is to 2. Right? Now we are asked to find what is the total number of students in class 10. Right. So we have assumed the number of students to be 5x in section A and 10y in section B. So we need to find the values of x and y. So once I have the values of x and y, I can substitute there and get the answer. Right. Now on cross multiplication, what do we have? 8x minus 6 is equal to 3x plus 9. So 5x is equal to 15 or x is equal to 3. So there are 15 students in section A. Now similarly 18y minus 6 is equal to 3y plus 9. So 18y minus 3y, 15y is equal to 6 plus 9, 15, or y is equal to 1. If y is equal to y, 10y will be 10 students. So the total strength of class 10 would be 15 plus 10, 25 should be the answer for this question.